Hey everyone, Tin Man here, back with some more Dota Underlords. I'm up to Big Boss 4, so I'm hoping to keep the climb up to Lord of Whitespire. Hope to get there soon. The patch a couple days ago really shook up the meta a whole lot, so we'll be talking a lot about my experience in the new meta and what I think is strong. Here, I guess anti-mage. I kind of like Tusk as well. I like warriors and savages, but I think I'm kind of inclined to take Anti-Mage. I think he's a better early game unit, and I'm not going to lock. I don't think I'm going to lock for double Tusk. I don't really think that's worthwhile. This was another feature that got implemented in most recent patch here, this scoreboard display by just clicking tab and holding it. It's really helpful to let you scout out what opponents are up to, and it's very useful, very useful. I've been really liking that change. It prevents you from having to go through every opponent's board. A lot of good items here. Chainmail and Gloves of Haste are two of the better ones. I think Chainmail is a touch better, especially in a lot of the compositions with that Anti-Mage wants to run. You don't necessarily have the strongest front line, and you may be running like elusives with Treant Protector if you're running elusives or what have you. And I think Chainmail is very powerful in that regard to help out with that front line. So we'll move it over to Tiny here. Positioning doesn't matter too much here against the creeps. Tiny and Enchantress are two of, in my opinion, the best one-cost units. Tiny just has an amazingly powerful effect at every point in the game, the big AoE stun. And Enchantress is very powerful, not on her own, but because she enables the Druid synergy with Treant Protector, who is, for my money, the best unit in the game prior to, say, round 20. A 2-star Treant is extremely powerful in the early game, much more so than pretty much anything else. I can pick up another Chainmail. I'm not super high on the new Tranquil Boots or Brooch of the Martyr. They're fine, but I think Chainmail is actively like the best or the second best tier 1 item. Sweet, we got the Treant. So let's just make that combo, and I don't know, I guess pick up a Tusk. Clockwork, Shadow Shaman, and Ogre Magi are all kind of lower tier options. They're not that amazing. They're only really good in the early game. Or sorry, Clockwork's only good in the early game. Shadow Shaman's only good in the very late game when you want the troll buff. And yeah, Tusk goes into more meta strategies, I feel. I mean, Shadow Shaman kind of does as well, but it's very late to try to pick up a Shadow Shaman. So the builds that I've been having the most success with recently have been, well, Trolls and Knights, and just Knights in general, are by far still the strongest, I feel. They tend to win, I don't know, a third to half of all the games. Options here kind of stink. I think I'm going to pick up Blightstone. I have enough defensive items. Let's pick up an offensive item. So obviously, the Knights are still very strong. Batrider, in particular, in the early game. Assassins are a comp that I've kind of grown fond of. I think I'm going to keep this exact same lineup here. There's no real reason to change. Hopefully I win. I can pick up the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter's not the best assassin. He doesn't really stick into most late game assassin builds, but an early 2-star Bounty Hunter will still be very strong. And we got lucky, we got our Treant leveled up. When Treant's the one who gets the 2 stars, I think we win most of the fights. Whenever Enchantress gets the 2-star, we may not win the fights. His heal is just so darn powerful. And also we pick up the Morphling just because of the Primordial buff with Tiny. Primordial buff is only really relevant here in the early game. It drops off in power pretty quickly come the mid game, and we can move the Blightstone over to him. He's going to be more resilient with his dash to get out of trouble. And no 2-star units other than what we're going to get out of the Druid Alliance. None of these guys in this option really lead towards any of the meta compositions that I was talking about. The meta, as I see it right now, you've got Knights in general, Then you've got hunters along with warriors. You've got assassins and mages are, I think, kind of a fourth meta comp. And a lot of people have been hyping out the new warlock rework, but the unit warlock is not that great, even in mainly warlock compositions. But I'll pick up anything that's a pair here. And even warlock compositions, I'm not convinced are all that powerful. People were playing with it a lot the day or two after it got released, but since then I've been kind of tracking some of the results, and most of the top 3 compositions are not running more than 2 warlocks at any given time, which is kind of consistent with what it used to be. You just throw in 2 warlocks on top of an already built out warrior or knights composition. Going in any more than that is generally overkill. Alright, so we lost that round because our treant didn't upgrade. So here we've got a Queen of Pain. I think I want to sell off for interest, right? Because I'm not going to be on a win or loss streak. My comp isn't that bad to go on a loss streak, and my comp isn't that good to go on a win streak. So I think I want to sell off 3 units to get up to 10. And I think that's going to be Clockwork pair of Warlocks, because I just don't like Warlock. And then after interest locks in for this round, that's when we can pick up Queen of Pain, Luna. Ugh. Lena? I really don't like Nature's Prophet. It's really not. It's really just not ideal. His ability is just too low impact. Let's take a quick scouting look around while this fight's playing out. I think we're going to win this. We got a 2-star treant. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced we win this. Alright, so we've got... No one's undefeated. That's nice. So, looking at the top of the tables, there's 2 warrior players, a bunch, people on druids, and then 1 scrappy inventor, 1 assassin player already, 1 Barani player. Okay. Alright, so we'll pick up this tiny. That's pretty obvious. And I think I want to sell something off to make sure I keep grabbing interest. Is that somebody anti-mage? Or Lena? Lena's not even my favorite. I think it's anti-mage. Lena's not even my favorite mage, really. But if I'm picking up Shadow Fiend and maybe going towards mages, because Tiny is a good way to bridge into mages, because he pairs well with Razor, the primordial mage, and Morphling's fine as well because he deals AoE magic damage, which is great in mage comps, and he just provides CC, which is good, required for the front line of mages. I also remember I want to keep on this tab more often than not, this alliances tab, because that was some of the feedback I got from previous videos, is that you guys want to see the alliance tab, and I agree with you. It can sometimes be hard to track if I'm on different tabs. Let's just pick up... I honestly like Sand King hedging towards Assassins. I've actually liked Assassins quite a bit, and Sand King fits into final builds with Assassins. I mainly like Assassins because they build out of an early Druid start, which is what I often go for with Treant and Enchantress. So here we're still just naturally at 10 gold. I kind of feel like I want to sell up 20. I have to sell off both my bounty hunters to do that, along with all the mages and Luna. No, that doesn't seem worth it. Mainly I don't want to lose the bounty hunters. This one opponent has assassins, but they don't have many. I guess they have a bench of a couple more assassins. But I think assassins work really well out of... Because the assassins will generally run 8... There are 6 assassins plus Treant plus Lone Druid. And if you're already starting with Treant, that's a good start to go into assassins with. We did get the win. Nothing here I'm really interested in. I guess I may be interested in Slarter if we stay more warriors. So it's a neat little trick that whenever the round ends and you still have this excess time, you can just like throw units onto your board and then just like buy whatever you want and just store them on the board, as long as before the next round, the next fight starts, you sell them off. So I'm going to put units up here that I'm more likely to sell off. I somehow got a 2-star Ogre Magi by doing that little thing. Not that I really want him, but I mean, I'm going to play him. Because a 2-star is a 2-star. Alright, I'm going to sell off Slarter. I'm going to sell off... I'd hate going mages. No, I'm going to sell off the other mages here. Ogre Magi... I guess I didn't need to sell off all of them to grab interest. Oh well. Well, it looks like my prediction pretty much came true, that anytime that I got a 2-star Treant, I win the fight. Anytime I get a 1-star Treant, I lose the fight. As is the case here. So we've been very up and down, but our focus on making sure we still have a good economy, we have maximizing the amount of gold income despite win and loss streaks, is still going to keep us competitive. So we don't have any kind of streak, but we're still competitive in the net worth category here.
I assume you want me to lead the team, right?
All right, what do we got here? Should have bought that timber saw. Wasn't fast enough, but it's not even 3 of them. So now I need to decide. I want to sell off to 30 gold here because that's what we just need to do that. Am I really just gonna go all in on assassins? That seems kind of sketchy. But I'm gonna sell off the Tusk, the Warlock, and the Drow Ranger to get up to 30 here. And then after interest locks in, we'll buy the Morphling, the Enchantress. I guess I can buy everything because interest is already locked in. I'm not really tied to Ogre Magi. He's not going to stay in this comp for very long. He's just there because any 2-star is good at this point. So scouting out, there's a lot of people on Warriors. There's 5 people who have the Warrior Alliance already. 1 person who has the Assassin Alliance. 1 person on Hunters. Ooh, Mask of Madness. Perfect. That's... You really want 2 Mask of Madnesses in an Assassin build. 1 for Phantom Assassin, 1 for Slark. And it's also good in Hunters with Drow Ranger. So it's good in a lot of areas. It's even good with Ogre Magi because his ability is not very good. And extra damage is always welcome. Okay, so here we're going to pick up the extra Sand King. And I think we're just going to ditch these scrappy inventors here. We can't get up to 30. Like we can sell Timber Saw plus Clockwork plus Ogre Magi, but that's not enough. So let's just sell these off and buy Sand King. I guess I'll buy both Tusk. Oh my goodness, this guy's got a million things. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you just take damage based on their actual heroes and not based on all their summons like you used to in Dota Auto Chess, because I would have taken like 20 damage there. That would have been bad. Morphling did a lot of work, but they did more. Okay, so now I think we're just going to sell off these Tusks. And do I just keep sitting on this? Am I about to hit a losing streak? I think I am about to hit a losing streak. I think that's alright. We're still really healthy. Still at 80. I mean, most of our damage, there was that last one fight that really hurt us. This fight's gonna hurt a lot too. At least we killed the Bloodseeker. Yeah, we're going to be on a losing streak here, but we actually have second highest net worth. I'll take it. Despite the fact that we had no streak in the first 10 rounds, we're still second highest net worth by just aggressively selling off things to make sure we have interest every turn. And we've got a decent number of pairs. And our comp isn't that garbage. Like, I guess we have been losing by quite a bit. I'm about to say we're not going to lose by a ton. But now we're up to 50 gold on round 13, despite no win or loss streaks until just this past round. And so this is an ideal way of showing, you know, how you don't really need a super strong or super weak early game, and you can still be competitive. Hopefully we can turn this into a reasonably high placement. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to win this game. A lot will depend on, you know, how our mid game goes. Now that interest is locked in for the round, that's when we'll buy the Queen of Pain. And now we've got just infinite pairs, right? We've got a pair of Enchantress, pair of Morphling, pair of Queen of Pain, pair of Sand King, pair of Bounty Hunter. So we can improve this comp really fast if we can complete these pairs. I don't want to keep a losing streak going too long because we're starting to take quite a bit. I really don't want to drop below 50 if I can help it. The other person who was on Assassin seemed to have bailed out. That's good. I'm just looking around, no one else. No one has the Assassin buff. Alright. Things are looking good. We need to get some of the key Assassins though. Slark and Phantom Assassin. Or a 2-star Sand King. Sweet. And a 2-star Enchantress. And exactly enough to level up. Okay. Level up, put in the Sand King. I'm going to move the Blightstone over to him. Just because he's going to stick around longer because he's a 2-star. And yeah, so that completes the Savage Alliance. And we're one away from the Assassin Alliance. And if I'm being honest, if I had like a Phantom Assassin or a Slark, somebody who could hold the Mask of Madness well, I'd probably sell off Ogre Magi for that Mask of Madness Assassin. But these other Assassins that I do have, that are just 1-star, or if I had a 2-star Assassin of any sort, but these other guys who are 1-star just don't hold Mask of Madness well, and I'd rather just have the Ogre Magi at the moment. And looks like we're winning anyway. Nice. See, I told you our comp isn't that garbage. And we're going to be collecting, you know, maximum interest here, and we're just going to pump our excess into leveling up. These kind of assassin comps really want to get to level 8. So I think I'm going to try to get to level 8 before spending any rerolls. Hopefully we just get some natural luck on completing these pairs. No such luck here, but we do get to pick up double Bloodseeker. I really don't like Bloodseeker. I really, really don't. He's only good in the first like 10 rounds at level 2. And if you can get him to 3-star, I guess. But for the most part, it's not good. He's just too risky. And if he dies, if he wins you the fight, he just goes crazy, right? He kills everybody and has the most damage and it looks amazing, but it's offset by the time that he just dies right away, even at 2 or 3-star, and he's too high risk to... Assassins are already very high risk in the sense that they have very little CC and they're reliant on getting crits. So I'm not really in the market to overdo that risk. I think I'm actually going to pump up... Do I want to level in around 16? I have enough gold to do it and still be in excess, right? Maybe I don't. Ugh. I guess Tooth and Claw's fine, because I do have 2 of them. Summoning Stone's obviously not at all good. Blade Mail, we already have enough defensive items. We already have the chainmails. Okay, Bloodseeker, fine. 2-star Bloodseeker holding a Mask of Madness is fine at this point, although he's not great. I do love Slark. Slark is like my favorite assassin and probably my favorite unit in the game right now, but at 1-star he's going to be very underwhelming. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, Queen of Pain may just be better than Morphling. hard to tell how much value the primordial buff is getting anymore. I guess it's still getting a bit of value. Okay, Bloodseeker's doing some work here. Top DPS. Nice. And that completes our assassin buff. And we still have Druid, Primordial, Savage. And we're not really close to anything else. Eventually we're probably going to get the elusive buff with Phantom Assassin and Templar Assassin, but that's a little ways off. Let's check how much Tooth and Claw did. Look at all that excess damage. All of this damage right here for Enchantress, like half of her damage is all that Tooth and Claw buff. Sand King, some of it is in his AoE. Alright, so we're going to level up here on round 17. We got plenty of excess gold. Let's buy these things. Put in the Queen of Pain. And I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of inclined to just level up again. I feel like my comp's reasonably good. My life total is well above 50. I guess it's not well above. It is above 50. But these kind of comps really want to get up to level 8. And honestly, I kind of want to get up to level 9 a lot of times as well. Just so I can get the extra scaled in there, along with Slark, to get the extra magic resist, especially if a lot of people are going to go mages. Currently looks like there's 2 mages at the table. So yeah, I'm also going to buy these extra tinies by doing the same kind of trick of placing your guys out on the board. I'm not really thrilled about Enchantress. Eventually she wants to get replaced with a lone druid. Enchantress just falls off in the late game too much when everybody has burst damage and her heal is pretty pitiful in comparison. So we'll just put her out there, but Bounty Hunter clears up the bench spot. And I think we're gonna do that swap. I think a 2-star. I think Queen of Pain's probably better than Morphling at this point. We're just looking for damage output. And yeah, let's just pump our gold in. Next turn, I can level up to 8. Kind of without dropping below maximum interest. And then we can put Slark in, I guess. I think Slark would make sense there. Okay, maybe I'm underestimating Bloodseeker. He's doing a lot of good work, even here in the mid-game. Look at that DPS. Bloodseeker has a ton of DPS. It's more than even like Sand King with the Tooth and Claw buff. Well, we're gonna get don't want Slark or Morphling back in. I'm not sure. But now we can level, we still have above 50. And I'll put a Morphling. Make sure I still have the Primordial buff up on Tiny. And so by efficiently selling things off early and kind of sticking to this plan, we were able to gather enough interest despite not having win and loss streaks. And already we leveled up to 8 with 50 gold on round 19, which is pretty good. And now we can actually start spending rerolls. We did not spend any rerolls yet, but by just focusing on good, powerful early game units like Treant, Tiny, well, mainly those two, they were able to keep our head above water as we just efficiently level up. And now that we're at the point where our composition kind of comes online, now we can start spending rerolls. Just things that are excess of 50. I don't really want to drop below 50 at any point. And probably once we get another 1 or 2 upgrades, then we might even try to level up to 9. So there's the Slark. And I really don't think Tiny fits in this composition long term, but I know Enchantress doesn't, so I'm going to sell her off and buy the Sand King. And do I reroll now? It's a creep round. I can reroll a couple times here. Hey, there's a Treant. Perfect. I don't know if I really like 3-star Sand King. It doesn't improve it by that much. 100 extra damage on his Burrow Strike. It doesn't increase the stun duration. I guess it lowers the cooldown. It doesn't increase the slow on his auto attacks. It does increase the damage. I'm not thrilled about it. It's an okay 3-star. It's not nearly as important as like Slark or Queen of Pain to 3-star. Nothing great here. I'm mostly afraid of magic damage from the mages that we scouted out, so I'm going to pick up the anti-magic. Oh my goodness. We don't even need to reroll. We're just getting the upgrades we wanted. I guess we did spend 1 reroll, right? We spent 1. So I guess Hood of Defiance out on Queen of Pain. And now... yeah, actually, that's going to be better.
Leave me to it.
I want to get the 6 assassin buff. Tiny is great, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Tiny in there right now. But 6 assassin buff is a massive increase in damage output, especially because all of our assassins are now 2-star. And looks like we're off to the races here. We're in pretty good shape. We're keeping our win streak going. This guy has the unstoppable, or what is it called? Oh, it's just called unstoppable. Oh, I thought there was a second word after that adjective, like unstoppable aggression or something. It's just called unstoppable, and that actually, I think that prevents Bloodseeker from triggering his heal, which is really annoying. But he still worked out well that game. So now that we don't really have an immediate upgrade that we could like reroll for, I'm actually going to set these guys back a little bit because I don't need Tiny up in the front line, and then I'm just going to pump all my gold in excess of 50 up into leveling. I'll buy Morphling too, but after interest locks in. Once we get up to 9, that's when I don't really ever feel like I need to level to 10 with this kind of a build, because what do I want on 9? I want the extra scaled to go with Slark, and then like at 9, I don't know, or at 10, I don't even know what I put in. I guess Tiny I put in. Does this guy have a... Was that a Lich? I think that was a Lich. He's got a Lich and a Gyrocopter on round 22. That's absurd. Who are we playing against? This guy at level 8? What? This guy doesn't even have a higher class of criminal. I knew 2 people had higher class of criminal, and I thought, oh, maybe someone leveled up to 8 and had that. No, it was somebody else. Alright, sweet. We got our Phantom Assassin. Pick up another Bloodseeker. Not thrilled about it. And... oh, I forgot to pick up the Morphling. I was too concerned about the 5-star units. Oh well. Now we get Tiny back in there. Let me move the armor over. And now we get our Primordial buff back. And eventually we're going to replace one of these assassins with Phantom. Preferably the Bloodseeker and the Bounty Hunter. The 2 $1 assassins are generally the ones you want to replace because they are the weakest in the late game. By nature of, you know, them costing just 1 baseline. So you want to replace those with Phantom and then Templar Assassin once we get up to that. Actually, did they fix that bug? Oh, it looks like it did. Interesting. So I saw Bloodseeker get a big chunk of healing there. I think he does heal off Unstoppable now. That's interesting. That definitely was not the case, well, last time I tested it, which was probably before the patch. Maybe that got fixed in the patch. I don't know. But that's pretty sweet. So maybe a 3-star Bloodseeker is more viable. In any case, I'm going to start rerolling because I haven't rerolled enough. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think eventually, I think we're going to definitely cut this Bounty Hunter and probably the Bloodseeker. But I guess I'll buy him right now. I was going to sell off the Tinies if we... or I'd probably sell off the Bloodseekers if I didn't combine and free up the bench space. And we're still crushing these fights. That's crazy. I guess we've gotten some good luck on the rerolls, but for the first 15 or 20 rounds of the game, we didn't have a ton of luck. But since then, things have been picking up. I mean, we'd be in the same kind of spot. We would have just been rerolling more. And maybe our comp isn't quite this strong if we didn't just naturally get these upgrades. Or get them with fairly few rerolls. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of these 1-cost assassins. I want to go for a 3-star Queen of Pain, 2-star Slark. Always checking to make sure I'm still staying above 50. I think a 1-star Templar is probably better than a 2-star Bounty. They have similar damage outputs, and I just like Templar's survivability a bit better. I guess she has less health, but she's got her shield refraction ability. And eventually we're going to replace this Bloodseeker as soon as we get a 2-star Phantom Assassin. And that'll also give us the elusive buff. Just mainly for our Treant. We are still on the lookout for Lone Druid to replace Enchantress with. And something like a Tide Hunter. Ooh, Retaliate is very interesting. I don't know if it's better than Hooded Defiance. There's still 2 mage players out there, but they're kind of bottom of the table. You know what? I'm going to take Hooded Defiance. I think the Retaliate buff is really powerful. It really does a lot of damage, but since I don't have a Tidehunter yet, I'm not like thrilled to pick it up here. I do want that Queen of Pain. I'm going to pick that up after the round. And Hooded Defiance is still good. I'm actually gonna put Hooded Defiance on Bloodseeker because the regen works well to counteract his natural decay, and Mask of Madness is really good on Slark because it's the same reason that it's really good on Troll Warlord is that every attack he increases his attack speed, which means any initial increase to his attack speed is like exponential because you get more attacks, which means you stack more attacks faster, and it's like a repeating cycle. So Mask of Madness is really good on Slark, better even than on Phantom Assassin. So make that swap. Oh, I wanted to buy this Queen of Pain, and I don't know who I would want to sell off if I had to. If I don't find a combination, I guess it would probably be Sand King, right? Oh, hello. Just gotta go fast here. There's the Sand King combine. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna sell off these ones. Just because I'm running low on time here. I want to buy this Lone Druid. I probably just replace Enchantress with Lone Druid right now. Or after this round, I mean. Oh, I did drop below 50, but I wasn't looking that closely. Am I going to get punished here? If I win this fight, I don't get punished because I get the bonus gold, but I'm going to lose this fight, and I'm going to collect less interest. Ah, it's unfortunate. But that's okay. So let's swap Lone Druid in with Enchantress. And we're still going for 3-star Treant. That would be a huge change. I don't want to reroll too much. Oh, I missed the Phantom Assassin. I'm like reasonably upset about that. I was looking down at my gold and I looked up right as I pressed reroll and saw there was a Phantom Assassin. So that's unfortunate. But we did find the Treant. So not all is lost. Actually, maybe I should just be putting in Phantom Assassin right now, even over the Bloodseeker. It'll be a 1-star, which is obviously much worse, but it does give me the evasion on Treant and a 20%, basically a 20% damage reduction on him. Probably worth the decrease in DPS. Uh-oh. This guy have Arc Warden with a Pipe of Insight. That's an interesting piece of tech. Interesting item to put on him. Alright, we're falling back to the pack here. 2 big losses in a row. That is not great. And we collect less interest each time. Still just like chain re-rolling. I think it's time to drop below 50 intentionally. Trying to find these upgrades. Yeah, I need the Sand King. I think I'm going to go down to 30 even. Alright. Let's make that swap and then put this on, I don't know, Morphling. I don't think I got it onto him in time. Unfortunate. Gotta be quicker. Oh my goodness, these... We need a Naga. I don't think have we seen a Medusa? Oh boy. Without an extra Naga, we're just or scaled rather. Without an extra scaled, we're just getting ripped apart by these mage compositions. If we get one, we can replace Tiny with it. Maybe I did miss. I've mainly been looking for Tidehunter because Medusa is kind of worthless in this composition. But still have not seen it. This is a creep round, otherwise I'd be rerolling a lot. I think I'm just all in after this round. We're just rerolling as fast as we can, trying to find Phantom Assassin, Templar Assassin. I would definitely want Tidehunter over Tiny, but I would take Medusa at this point. I guess there's only one mage player left. Right? Is it really that bad? I feel like if I play against that one mage player, though, I'm going to get eliminated. They're going to deal like 17 to me. Oh, hello. Oh my gosh, all of these are insane. I think I pick up Radiance for Treant. I think that's best. Alright, there's Phantom. I don't have too much time to dwell on it, though. I don't need more of these.
I don't lay down.
Darn it.
So quickly.
Touch too slow to get that Sand King in there. Oh well. Against Hunters here, I think we should be fine. Still never found the Tidehunter. We also need the Templar Assassin leveled up. I think we win here though. Alright, so this is a very close game. Like, look, everybody from first down to fifth is all within 8 life of each other. So this is a game where I wish I'd picked up like an Aegis of the Immortal earlier. Not that we got offered the choice, but if we did, probably would have taken it. More Slarks. Oh my god, there's a 3-star Slark. That's insane. And a Medusa. The mage player is still out there, so I'm going to put in the Medusa. And actually I'm going to put Radiance on Sand King. And then... I don't actually know for sure if her split shot now applies the debuff of Flagstone, but I hope. Okay, this is working. This is working. I'm so glad that we found that Medusa just in time to play the mage comp. Otherwise, we probably lose here. Probably get eliminated down in 5th. Instead, we live to fight another day, and look at that big Radiance damage on Sand King now that he's 3-star. Oh, right. I need to put the armor back on Treant, obviously. That was a mistake, but okay. Hey, we're in top 4, so it's been a close game. Very nail-biting kind of game, but hey, Assassins are working out well. I guess I'm just rerolling for, like, Medusa upgrades. Right? I guess we're not playing Tiny. We're not going to get up to level 10. Looking for Medusa and Templar Assassin upgrades, I guess. So I think we beat this person before, and we've just gotten a lot of upgrades since. So I think we still probably win this. Oh my god, look at that Slark. Look at that Slark. Just going absurd. Just going crazy. But that's the power of this build. You know, if you get up to 9 with this kind of a combo, you get Scaled, you get Beast, you get Elusive, and of course, Druid and Assassins. And yeah, you can just go. Ideally, stop at 8 or 9, depending on whether or not you think you need the scaled buff. And this game, I think we did need the scale buff because there was 2 people playing mages. But if I didn't see people playing mages, I may have not even gone up to 9 and just stopped at 8 and rerolled a bunch there, trying to get, you know, Morphling and Queen of Pain up to 3-star. But that was not, I think it was necessary to level up like we did here. But yeah, Assassins are, in my opinion, one of the better comps in the current meta. They do a lot of things pretty well. You know, they have great use of a lot of the items that are out there. And I think they have a powerful early, mid, and late game. Maybe not the most powerful late game, but a very strong early game and very strong mid game. That kind of makes up for it. So, So who's the last person left? The mages. The mages and dragons. Classic combo. They've got double Dragon Knight. That is scary. I think we have a chance to beat them if we get some good luck on some crits. And what item would I even want to try to beat him here? I can't think of an item that would be very good. I guess Pocket Sand is like the best possible item, right? For Assassins. Anytime you get Pocket Sand, I think you just win the game if you go Assassins with Pocket Sand. It's so incredibly good. Basically, every time your Assassins jump, everybody right next to them just does nothing for 2 seconds. It gives them the miss chance and reduces their mana gain, so it prevents their abilities. All these items are terrible. I wanted something that actually impacted the board. I guess Mechanism kind of impacts the board. Kind of. I don't know. Put it on Phantom Assassin. Hopefully to heal up the Assassins for a burst right before everybody gets exploded by magic damage. Trying to find Medusa and Templars. Or Tide Hunters. That seems to be better than Medusa. Ooh, second Tide Hunter. Alright, so where are they stacked up? Yeah. Let's do something like this. Hopefully get Tide Hunter to trigger right away. Oh, I meant to move him over to the spot. Hopefully he still gets aggro. Yes. Oh no, we got Dagon! Oh, that's rough. We got Dagon hit. Yeah, I think we lose this. Oh, that's unfortunate. Got hit by a Dagon right as he's about to cast. But yeah, double Dragon Knight, that's gonna do it. That's gonna hurt me quite a bit. But overall, a pretty good game. A little bit of a rocky start, but a very strong mid game, which is kind of the highlight of Assassins here. I'm gonna go back and check the final scoreboard. Yeah, they had Scythe of Eyes that I think hit my Sand King at the end. And Final Flash. Yeah, that person just had a really great composition. But our Assassins performed well. It was a good run. I hope you found some interesting insight into the meta. And in the next couple days, I'll be putting out a guide on what I consider to be the top compositions right now. And I also keep notes and records of all my games and like all the different comps that were played and all kinds of stuff. But those are available to all of my Patreon supporters. So please do consider supporting me on there if you like this kind of content and want to see all of my personalized notes and things like that. And please do like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with all my Dota Underlords content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.